I love the complacency piece because that's where you got to watch out for that people don't talk about is the Washington football team. We saw what the Washington football team did. No, I don't love them. I watched the tape, right? We saw what they did last year in the playoffs with their fourth-string quarterback, a dude named Taylor Heineke, who was taking college classes so they didn't think he was going to be on the field. He came and almost beat them in the playoffs with the fourth-string quarterback. But that's not even about the quarterback. It's about that defense. Like, they have the top. They were number 2 last year. Chase Young. You got Montez Sweat. They have dominant defensive linemen up front, 4 first-round picks. The only question mark you have with Tampa Bay is the offensive line. And so when it comes to the playoffs, if Tampa Bay meets Washington in the playoffs, there's some question marks. Washington could upset them in the playoffs.
See, I started the show saying that I promised my mom that I wouldn't do what I did yesterday.
I'm ready for it. What'd you do? Oh, what'd you do yesterday?
They
didn't watch the show yesterday.
This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the Bucs won the Super Bowl, and Washington, of all the teams in the NFC, that is the team. And don't get it twisted, Ron Rivera. Defense, very good. And Washington is going to beat the Cowboys in the first round of the division. Is that what you said yesterday?
Yes.
The Washington football team in the NFC. That's the team. When you got the Packers, when you have the 49ers, when you spend all show, when you told us that Trey Lance is the second coming of Peyton Manning soon, now San Francisco doesn't come to mind when it's a team that could compete and give the Bucs fits. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers on a revenge tour. The 49ers are a team built to win. You know how I know they're very good? Because they're okay starting Jimmy G in week 1 because they know that they've got all the pieces around them. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They know that Jimmy G can start and Trey Lance can take it and run with it. But the Washington football team led by Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think he played for as many teams as you did. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the guy in Washington, and that's the team that you think gives the Bucs the hard. That's the team. That's the team. Is that I have it right?
And I played for 3 years. If only I had a 20-something year career like Ryan Fitzpatrick, I wouldn't be in this seat right now. That'd be pretty dope right now. I have my 9-year career, and I'm very happy with it. But I mean, think about it. Think about this. Fourth string, right? Like, I don't need to repeat myself, but like Ryan Fitzpatrick is an upgrade, and no, we don't think he's the answer. But fourth string to maybe now you have a first string quarterback who might be healthy, right? I'm not talking about Washington football team this year going to win a Super Bowl. I'm talking about matchups. Football in the NFL is about matchups. So if you have a team that can match up with Tampa Bay's offense and a number 2 rated defense in Washington, when that matchup comes, and then a culture, we'll talk about coaching. Not every coach is ready for the big, bright lights. Sean McVay wasn't ready for a Super Bowl 2 years ago. You have a guy named Ron Rivera who's a 2-time coach of the year. He understands coaching. Yeah. He understands culture. He understands what it takes to win. Obviously, I think people hear this like I'm probably a year early on Washington being in that Super Bowl conversation. They're a quarterback away from being in that Super Bowl conversation.
So they're not the biggest threat.
But they are. There's a difference. So check me out. There's a difference between winning a Super Bowl and being a threat to a team. The NFL is about matchups.
Of course.
And so last year there was a matchup problem. There was a matchup problem in the playoffs with Tampa Bay. People thought Tampa Bay would mop the floor with Washington, and they didn't. Mm-hmm. They didn't. There's a matchup problem. Mm-hmm. And so that's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it comes to matchups in the playoffs, in Tampa Bay repeating. That was what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. The Washington football team is a matchup problem for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm not disputing that they are a matchup problem. But to say that the question
yes, absolutely.
is the biggest threat. That is where, my brother, we disagree.
And my sister, if I could just quickly say, so that's the question. But also, in the lead, we talked a little bit about how, man, you could get complacent after winning a Super Bowl. You could overlook some teams after winning a Super Bowl. You don't see anybody overlooking L.A. Rams. You don't see anybody overlooking San Francisco. You might go and overlook the Washington football team in the playoffs, and all of a sudden, you trip up, and all of a sudden, you're not where you thought you would be. And so when you talk about a threat, it's a combination of not only the best team possible, not only the matchup, but also you come and overlook a team you think you might walk away with it like Tampa Bay thought they would last year, and it wasn't as easy of a game as everyone expected.
No, I know what a threat is, but the question says biggest.
Absolutely.
So that is where
you say who's the biggest threat.
And I say Washington is the biggest threat. Think about so it's not just about the question is who's the best, not who's the best team.
Right.
Right. That's not the question. But when you talk about threat, it's not always about the best team. Tampa Bay lost twice in their division to the New Orleans Saints. So you could say the Saints were the best team in the division, but when it came to playoff time, the best team overall won. And so it's not always about, okay, well, who's got the best roster or who's the number one overall ranking team or win the division. Sometimes you got to get hot at the right time.
True. I'm with you on that. I just know that I covered the Packers and the Bucs in the NFC title game. I was at that game. I was at Lambeau. So, and I watched Washington lose to the Bucs. So when I think about biggest threats, Washington, no disrespect, very good team, but I don't think the biggest. That's all.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.